about that, but we thought we had everything taken care of, but we got it now. So
And we would like to welcome you to Let's Talk Freedom, where
yeah.
talk is cheap, but at least the thoughts are free. I'm gonna remember that one day.
I'm Andre. Who else?
August, where are you from, Andre?
Andre. I'm here from Jamaica originally. U.S. citizen, but here from Jamaica. But John or Jay, sorry.
What's that? Where am I from?
No, no,
From
no.
Florida.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, I'm Jay. I am just here. I'm going. I'm just a passenger going through this life with just like you and whoever's listening, watching. And
Watching.
I'm just trying to navigate the world just like anybody else, man.
So before we got interrupted, we were talking about Kanye and his little short run for
I'll just
presidency.
introduce myself. My name ain't Skip.
Oh, my bad, Skip.
I'm B to
Naturally,
the W.
not
I
Skip.
am this guy. I'm a jujitsu teacher. Why are we doing this show? Is because I actually care about what's happening in the world, which everybody should. We all see from different angles. We're here to share with you guys and ladies our angle and maybe stretch your minds a little bit so you can give thought outside the box that you were brought up in. We were all brought up in the box. Nobody was brought to this place without a little bit of assistance. So we're here to assist you. So let's talk freedom, gentlemen.
That's it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Um, so are we done with Kanye or because
Well,
honestly,
I
Kanye.
mean, really, the whole that whole discussion, I think we'll just go ahead and put on the back burner. All I gotta say is, I would have bought a "Ye the People" bumper sticker for 2020. That's it.
You would have
We can
bought the
go on to, huh?
you would have bought the bumper sticker, but you wouldn't have gave the vote.
Nope.
Would you put the bumper sticker on your car at least?
Nope.
You're just gonna
Nope.
buy the bumper sticker just for collection purposes, right?
Much, man. Pretty. I mean, it would have went on the fridge or something, but until I actually heard his plans for the country, I can't say I would have gave him a vote.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it strictly off the name itself, but the slogan would have been catchy.
The slogan would have. I mean, trust me. As an artist, he would have came up with some real slogans. He would have been,
Yeah.
listen. They would have been dropping some
And
gems
you,
for advertisings.
yeah,
Like
the campaign videos would have been crazy
it would have
bananas,
been
dude.
crazy. Could you imagine all this working? Well, I guess he turned over a new leaf because he's a
Yeah.
pastor now, right?
Yes, he is.
Now,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
somebody was saying that I saw one of the posts um saying that he he what's it called? He really he was really set up to get a lot of votes because he's been doing that ministry, that
Yeah.
traveling ministry. So really and truly he would have been right on point because your preacher, you're gonna follow your preacher.
Yeah, but I mean, even when it came down to the Sunday ministry or whatever it was called, I don't know what it is. But I was reading, what was it? Thanksgiving. I
Hmm.
was reading about his menu, and people were paying buku cheese, and they was getting like second grade cafeteria food, and they was pretty pissed because they took to social media and stuff.
Oh wow,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
So
interesting. That's very interesting. Well, so
yeah, but hey, man, his wife's about what she said she's gonna go be a lawyer
oh, I
and
got something on
fighting
my nose.
justices.
Oh
Who?
no, no, I was itching my nose, man. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm like, what do I got something on my nose here? Like, what the heck? No, but Ye would have been real fun, man. Ye would have been really, 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 really fun. Um,
Yeah.
but so here's my question to you: Is he still was he going to be running as a Democrat or as a Republican or as an independent or what?
It didn't even break. It didn't. It. I didn't even see it go that far to the specification. I just know what I read, that he was withdrawing his support for Mr. Trump, and that he was going to run.
Oh, he said he was withdrawing support for Trump.
Yeah, he something that he was no longer supporting Trump. I don't know.
because he
I don't
hates
even know if
Malia.
that's publicity.
Oh, that's
You
pretty
know what I'm
big.
saying?
That's pretty big because I honestly didn't even think about, that he would have actually because when I thought about when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, well, wait, this guy's gonna run against Trump, and then there was a bunch of memes coming out like, oh, don't pay attention to Kanye. He's just really trying to take away things
Biden.
from Biden. So you know what I mean? I was just like, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, let me be honest, man. I'm not even excited for this election.
You're not excited for the election?
Nah, man. Nah.
So
Nah.
I tell
why?
you,
Talk to me.
Well, I mean, I'm just not that vested in Biden or Trump. I've seen what Trump can do in 4 years. Um, am I completely against everything he's done? No. Do I think he could be a little bit more articulate and hold his temper a little bit better? Sure. But I find him entertaining. This is my own personal opinion.
Hmm.
Nothing against him. He got to where he is. However he got there, nobody could take that away from him.
Okay.
But I haven't really heard Biden speak much or haven't read into it. But it's just, to be all honest, I personally wanted to see what if there was any better candidates out there. Hopefully, I don't even know if there is enough time to get anybody else in there. But
Well, have you looked at Joe Jorgensen? Joe Jorgensen,
no, I have not.
the independent candidate. I mean, she has some really strong policies. Have you looked at her events?
yeah, libertarian. Um, I heard something negative. I have not checked into it myself
Hmm.
about her running mate
Hmm.
endorsing maybe social anarchy or something like that. But again, you can't quote me on that. But her herself, we have voted libertarian quite a few times now. We supported Gary Johnson, and that scenario was funny. I want to comment on that while I'm there.
Hmm.
The only excuse people could make for not voting for Gary, for accepting groupthink, and groupthink, we'll get into that, for those of you who are listeners who are new to that term, but people wouldn't accept him because of he couldn't tell you where Aleppo was at. But at that place in time, I guarantee you nobody in the world except for people that lived in Aleppo or beside it could tell you where Aleppo's at. That was the one negative thing they could find about Gary Johnson. So they took the votes away from him as justification for Aleppo. And that's ridiculous because shoot, half the presidents, they get something wrong in every single speech. So, it's just people trying to force us libertarians out. And I am an avid libertarian.
Hmm.
Now, as a libertarian, that also means that we can vote Republican or Democrat. We don't have to vote libertarian. If the Democrats would put somebody up who was not complete psycho-socialist, then if like the old school 1980s Democrats, those guys were very, very moderate. Today they would probably be bashed for being Republicans or something, but they weren't so radical. They could have kept peace and kept momentum to the economy.
Hmm.
They could still funded social programs, but they couldn't have run amok with those social programs. So I am excited to see Jo Jorgensen run. She definitely has my support. And as we said in the test episodes before we actually started putting it out there on internet, people are going to hate that. They're going to be like, why are you going to waste your vote for her if you do that? Why don't you vote for Trump? Why don't you vote for Biden? Number one, I could never vote for Biden. I'm not even going to get into that. I don't even show my own children that much affection that he shows other people's children. And if that makes you angry, you deserve to be angry. Second thing is, Joe, if in this day and age, people want to see diversity in political powers. This is a woman, and she's broken the molds of both parties, which of itself is kind of cool.
Right.
But if people would take the time to even do a little bit of research on her, they're going to see that the things that they're asking for, both on the right and the left, align with George Jorgensen. So she got my support.
Yeah. Honestly, so with with Joe Jorgensen, the only thing I don't have anything bad to say. Like I've been checking her out, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't had anything bad to say. But like how you just said is that I did hear one thing negative. You know what I mean? And it was the same exact thing that you heard. I don't know. Maybe I heard it from you, or maybe you heard it from me.
I think we heard it together.
Or we might have heard it together. Um, but that was the only, the only thing bad that I heard from her. And just doing research on her, everything that she's coming up with, it just makes sense, And honestly, it's like it's not real. It's not real hard when when you look at it now. Okay, so first off, let me just explain. Like, I'm new to the whole politics thing, right? I don't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to politics at all, at all, at all, at all. Like, I was one of these guys just live my life. Like, who cares who's president it is because I'm gonna still do what I'm gonna do. And you see the color of my skin. Presidents don't do nothing for me. Like, they don't. You know what I mean? Like, just they just don't. They never did. That's not America. That's not what America's set up for. The first time I started paying attention to politics is when when what's it called? The the first time I paid attention to politics is when Obama in 2008, right? Because that was a shock to me because I grew up learning coming from Jamaica. When I came here, I had an idiot history teacher that sat in front of the class and told the class that in order for you to be a US president, you have to be over 50 years old, right? And you have to be a white male, right? So that's what I was, as a kid coming from Jamaica, coming to a new country and sitting and listening to this authority figure in front of you that, I fed into that. I believed him. So fast forward and I'm grown and I see Obama throw his thing into the thing. I'm looking at everybody like you're crazy. You guys don't even realize that black people can't be president of the US? Like what are y'all talking about? Like this is not even real. Like this is just like some publicity stunt or something. So then I started to see it really take effect, and I was looking at like people really pay attention to this guy because he spoke well. He spoke really, really well, and he was like a hallmark. He knew he knew all the damn right things to say, right? So
Smooth operator.
yeah, he was smooth, smooth, real smooth operator. Um, but what's it called? Elaborate on. So like I said, that was when I really first started paying attention, and then he got elected. And then when he got elected, it was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, wow, this is a different America. This is not the America that I came to, right?
Yep.
So, paying a lot of attention. I remember specifically the night that it came out, I was at work. I was in Massachusetts. And I remember when it was announced that he's the future president of the United States. There was half of America that said, "Nah, he's not my president." And
Yep.
I was like, "Wait a minute. This shit is really still, excuse my language, this is really, really, really still way divided over here." You know what I mean? This is in 2008, right?
Yep.
So fast forward a little bit. I started well, and I started paying a little bit more attention because I started noticing things like um, certain states were getting marijuana legalized,
Yeah.
and a lot of states were trying to, but a lot of states were getting blocked. And then somebody said to me, I forgot who said to me, somebody said to me, your state can't get legalized marijuana unless it gets gay marriage first. And I said,
Yeah.
what? I said, what? No, you joking me. Gay people ain't got that much power. When I tell you, every state that
Yeah.
has legalized marijuana got gay marriage first.
It was
You
orchestrated. Very well orchestrated.
very well orchestrated, very well orchestrated.
Yeah, the individual. I don't know. I'm not going to run with that one
Yeah.
because it's past tense.
Yeah,
But
it is
you
past tense, but yeah, go ahead.
well, I'm going to interject on this, and it's semi-related to what you just said, but you brought back an interesting memory. So, not my president. That happened. It probably happened before second Bush, but I remember it very distinctly happening with George W. Bush. And the divide was that's when the divide started to get very, very extreme. And this is pre 9/11. So, and we're not going to talk about 9/11 tonight. That's a whole nother topic. We
Whole
can get
nother
into
night.
we can run with that for like 2 days straight, no stopping. And I don't have any caffeine on hand, so we're not going to do that. But so that became kind of a cliche. He's not my president. And the people, the left right paradigm, they go back and forth. Well, he is your president. You live in the United States. And they're like, I didn't vote for him. He's not mine. And that's typical grade school banter. The
Mhm.
fact is that is the person who is basically chief officer in charge of the United States, and he's leading the country. So that's where that came from. And they just, when Obama got elected, then the right chanted what the left did. It was
Mm.
just and the pendulum swings. You guys are going to hear me say that a lot
Pendulum
because the
swings.
pendulum swings. And each year, that pendulum swings a little higher and it gets a little more extreme on its way to the other side. And that's definitely going to become a topic because it's relevant to the here and now. When 9/11 happened, and again, we're not going to get into it. We know what you're thinking. We know what everybody's thinking on 9/11. Inside job. And by the way, Paco, thank you for tuning in. 9/11 was, yeah. Anyway, so that's one of my boys who's listening right now. Sorry about that, guys. You got to plug your boys. Make sure they feel loved. You got any plugs before I continue?
Yeah. I want to plug. Well, I need to take that back real quick. I want to give thanks to my wife.
There we go.
So
Smart move.
she's giving me the time off to do this right now, and
And you
it's
have kids.
yeah, dude. Twins and the 3-year-old. She is holding it down right now, and
So you did plug your wife. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. That was inappropriate.
that's why I said I had to reword it.
Listen, I proudly sleep with my wife. Let the whole world know. Twice. A night.
Twice.
A night. So anyway, jumping back on, who's your plug? You got anybody to plug real quick?
Whom? Who? Me?
Yes, sir. You,
Yeah.
Mr. Andre.
I just want to actually just give a big shout out to everybody that actually tuned in tonight. Do me a favor, guys, if you're in on YouTube, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It helps our little modest channel grow. Hit the like, share the video. You never know what kind of like minds might want to see, might want to see this. And I just want to plug you, whoever you are watching, because you're my number one fan. Sorry, I'm your number one fan. I said that wrong. If you're tuned into the show, and especially if you hit the subscribe button, I'm your number one fan. I can't speak for
Yeah,
everybody else, but I'm your number one fan.
you heard it first. He wants to plug you.
Stop it. Listen, no, I only plug my wife. We only go. That's what we do. We only plug her.
Holy
Only,
smokes.
only. Huh? All right. So actually, speaking of my wife, she's actually in joining because she has her own show called Shelly Speaks Truth.
Dope
And
show. I listened to it.
you listen to it? Cool. And
She's dope, dude. I didn't know
yeah,
that was your wife.
no,
I'll
she
stop
is.
hitting on her. I mean,
Yeah,
well, I didn't
please.
hit on her, but I
Yeah,
won't hit on her
yeah, yeah.
now.
Please leave her alone, sir. That's my wife.
She's got a beautiful mind.
Shelly, are you there?
I am not sure if I'm there.
You are here. We hear you. We hear you completely. Your video is not on. If you didn't want to turn your video on, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn the video on. I
Okay.
can't see anything.
She's on the
Actually,
phone, guys.
I can
While she's
see.
doing that,
I
I'm gonna
can
run and
see
go grab something
everybody,
real
but I
quick.
can't see myself.
Okay. No worries. No, all you what you would have to do is turn your camera on, allow access from your with your camera. That's honestly what you would have to do that from your side. There you go.
I can't really. I mean, I can barely see myself.
That's okay.
Hello.
You're here. We can see you and you're beautiful. Um,
Reach.
so guys, guys, Shelly's here from Shelly Speaks Truth. She's here to do Shelly's rant because every week she has a little rant that she wants to come across with us. So go ahead and what do you got for us this week, Shells?
Well, first of all, hello, gentlemen.
Hi.
I didn't get to meet everyone. So real quick, what I have this week is, who's keeping up with what's going on out here with the um with people who are against wearing face masks and people that are for wearing face masks. But I'm calling it the face mask wars because it's really heating up out here as far as the face masks go. There's two stories that came out in the news that I just want to touch on really quickly. Where one, there was a guy in a Walmart that pulled a gun actually on a man and his daughter because they asked the guy to wear a mask. Another one, a guy actually stabbed a customer because they asked him to wear a mask. So this is getting really crazy. And how I feel about it is I think that with the face mask, people need to pick their battles wisely. I wear the face mask because a lot of places you go, it's just store policy. So you can't really expect for someone to let you in their place of business without a mask on if that's the store's policy. The same thing as if someone wanted to come into your home and you had a rule that they needed to wear a face mask, they have to comply with that. So if we're going to be out there in the public and the rule is that everyone, pretty much voted that we need to wear these masks, that's what people need to do. There's no need to be stabbing or drawing guns on people or fighting over the face mask because, there's a lot more things to come. And I personally feel like we have so much more that we can invest our energy into besides fighting over the face mask. A lot of people are a lot of people are in danger at this point because people are really, really upset about having to wear the mask. And I get it. I understand that people feel like their rights are being violated. I hate wearing the mask. Sometimes I leave home, I forget the mask. I have to turn around and come back home because I don't have the mask. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying, but it is what it is. And some people may not agree with that. There's total meltdowns happening. I don't know how many people are familiar with the Karen phrase, where there's people having total meltdowns in the store. They're turning over display racks and just going crazy because they have to wear these masks. And like I said, the thing with the mask is annoying. It's a pain in the butt for everybody. But I personally feel like there's other things that we need to save our energy for because there's a lot that's coming. And the masks, they're annoying, but we have to wear them if we want to be among other people. So my advice to everyone that's frustrated about the mask is, choose your battles wisely because you don't want to be in a situation where you're getting arrested or you're harming other people because you're frustrated about the mask. So that's my opinion about the mask. Like I said, it's really heating up out here over the face mask. People are fighting. People are getting arrested. People are drawing guns on each other. And I really don't feel that it's worth it over the face mask because there's a lot more that we need to be putting our energy into.
I agree. I agree. I definitely agree. Can I just
Mhm.
say though, my thing, I do have one little thing about the face mask because like some people can't really wear it, not even comfortably, because let's not talk about comfortable. Let's just talk about the fact that it does restrict some form of air, and some people do have lung problems, which ironically these are the same people that really have to kind of wear the mask because the virus, but at the same time, the mask makes it even harder for them to breathe. Like, what do you think about those people?
I mean, there was actually an article that came out the other day where they were saying they're trying to make some masks that are more comfortable for people to breathe in, because that is one of the biggest issues. Some people are saying, I can't breathe in this mask. So supposedly they're working on masks that'll be a lot more comfortable for people to be able to breathe in. But I think that a lot of people are just hysterical because they feel like their rights are being violated and they don't want to wear the mask. And like I said, I understand that part of it because people feel like the mask is just for compliance purposes.
Hmm.
But like I said before, if you're going to someone's place of business, you have to follow their rules. Just as if you're going to someone's house, you have to follow their rules. So if you
Absolutely.
want to be out there in public, mingling among the public, you have to follow the rules that have been put in place, or you can simply just stay home.
Okay, great. I'm glad you said that. Before, I know John wants to get into this. I know John has an opinion on this, but I do want to ask you one more question because you brought up an interesting point. Like if you're going into a place of business, you kind of have to abide by those business rules, right? And especially if you're an employee, if that business is paying you, the last thing you can really do is go against that, right? So kind of off the subject, but kind of on the same subject. So I do want to ask you, how do you feel, or how did you feel about the NFL turning their back on Kaepernick for kneeling? Because that's along the same lines. You understand what I mean? Because the NFL has their own business, and they kind of say, not kind of, they were against the whole kneeling. They said that if you were to kneel, you're going to be reprimanded. So how do you feel the same way about the one thing as you do as about the other? Or do you feel like that's a different situation?
Um, I feel like the NFL has the right to do whatever they feel with their league. Not saying that there won't be backlash for it, and there was immediate backlash for that. Kaepernick was trying to make a statement, but Kaepernick also knew the risk that he was taking when he made that statement. Unfortunately, it cost him his career, but he stood by what it is that he believed in. And, he had to make that sacrifice. And along with that sacrifice, he lost his job. Um,
So you
but at
don't
the same time,
go,
go
so
ahead.
so you don't really disagree with the NFL then?
I disagree with the NFL, but I understand that they're within their rights to do what it is that they feel they want to do with their league.
Got you. Got
And
you.
they'll have to deal with the consequences of their decision.
Okay, with that, I'm going to let John take over because I know John has an opinion on the face mask thing.
Oh, just with the face mask thing, man, I think it's more a consideration thing than anything. I don't want any of you to get sick. I'm gonna wear a mask, regardless if it's comfortable to me or not. Um,
Fine.
I don't want to get sick. Wear your mask. Let's be considerate to each other. I think at the end of the day, if you're looking more towards the people and everybody's health, then it's even though it's a little restrictive and it does take some getting used to, just put it on, man. Just
I
put it on.
did.
I mean,
I listened to you.
there's people there's
I,
there's people that don't want to wear clothes, but when they go outside, they put it on. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's just an extra protective layer. I don't want to get anything. I don't want you to get anything in case
you have
I
to wear
have something.
clothes.
So let me.
What is this clothes thing you're wearing?
With what you said about the consideration for others and to protect others, what is your opinion about the people that say that these masks are worthless and they don't really protect anybody?
Well, okay. So as far as masks go, I'm always going to look at Asia. Asia's been rocking masks forever during any sickness. It doesn't even have to be a pandemic. Somebody, like, anytime you see random photos of people on buses, you can always tell who's sick and who's not. when they're sick, they put on a mask so they don't spread the germs. I think it's more.
So one of our listeners right now, thank you, Larissa, for the actually sending the news link from WRAL.com. Raleigh, North Carolina, come August 1st, it will be illegal for you to wear a face mask. Illegal. And that was apparently currently a state law.
Wait, wait,
But
wait, wait. Illegal to wear one or to not wear one?
I'm going to read it to you. Raleigh, North Carolina. This is by Travis Fain, WRAL State House reporter. Not steakhouse, State House. Laugh at me. I laugh. Okay, whatever. Do whatever you want. I like you, John. Like
It's
that.
fake news, bro. It's fake news.
It is. This is crazy, right? So, Raleigh, North Carolina, back and forth talks over just what to do with North Carolina's anti-mask law broke down early Friday morning at the legislature, leaving an odd status quo in place. For now, masks are legal, with the state's anti-mask law temporarily suspended because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Wow.
But it runs out on August 1st. Come then, it will be against the law. And you know what's funny is when this whole thing took place, actually, let me finish this and then I'll give you my comment. Come then, it will be against the law for adults to wear a face mask in North Carolina, despite an order from Governor Roy Cooper requiring them to wear face coverings in a wide range of public situations. So you got the Leos battling the government, battling state law. So North Carolina is going to be something to watch. I definitely want to know what's happening there. But when this all started, man, I was like, it's such an anomaly to not to be required to wear a mask. We used to get shot at for that.
Yes.
Like if you wear a mask anywhere, dude, any concealed carry guy had his hand on his hip. If you saw a cop, you pretty much guarantee you're getting shot. And that's tri-racial. Try any race that you want to. And if you're wearing a mask, you're going to get shot.
Oh, snap. Wait. Excuse me. I have to because you just segued right into my subject that I wanted to talk about. And Shelly, do you have time to stick with us for a little bit? Because the convo, I'm sure you could add a little bit to this convo, and we are down Rob tonight. So if you could stick with us as long as you can, whenever you got to go, just let us know. All right.
Okay.
All right. We appreciate that. But as you mentioned, North Carolina, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you mentioned, North Carolina. Listen to this headline. In a historic move, North Carolina city approves reparations for black residents. How does that sound to you? Does that even sound real to you? Like how?
Wait, run that by me again.
In a historic move, North Carolina city approves reparations for black residents. I'm going to give you the city.
Oh, I read that article.
You read the
It's
article.
not cash payouts though. It's not cash payouts.
It's not cash payouts.
Scam. It's a scam. Get me started.
So all right. So here's my thing, right? First of all, on my issue on reparations, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna say right off. We're talking about American slavery that happened on America's soil, right? We're talking about descendants of American slaves. I am not a descendant of American slaves. I'm not. I'm Jamaican. Um, born and raised in Jamaica. My family tree doesn't have anything to do with what slavery took place in America, right? Just saying that, just to get it out of the, just to get it out in the air. But at the same time, I firmly, 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 firmly believe that descendants of slaves in America definitely deserve some form of reparations. And the my my whole thinking behind that is, and it's really, really, really quite simple. There are many companies that got their start from slavery, from free labor, right? For hundreds of years. American cotton being one, right? I did a little bit of research on American cotton. American cotton makes about 120 million dollars. Sorry, 120 bill. No, generates about 120 billion dollars a year of revenue. That goes into the U.S. economy. 120 billion dollars a year. That's a lot of money. And the biggest pushback I see about reparations is that where's the money going to come from? That's the biggest pushback I see, which I agree taxpayers shouldn't have to pay. Like, could you picture me coming from Jamaica having to pay tax to pay reparations for descendants of slaves of America? No, that's not fair to me. And that's not fair to you. And that's not fair to any working American right now, because there's no working American right here that supported slavery or that did anything towards slavery. There are Americans that are still benefiting from what happened from slavery. My thing is, I feel like that money should come from companies like that. U.S. cotton is still thriving today. U.S. cotton industry counts for the most. I don't want to misquote it. Hold on, give me one sec. I don't want to misquote it.
I'll fill in the blank while you're hunting that. So interesting to what you say. My family's from Sweden and Ireland, just a couple generations back. There is our people were actually slaves. So you make a very interesting point there. What about the people that have nothing to do with it?
Yeah, the people that's what I say. I agree.
The Federal Reserve. It's going to go to the Federal Reserve. That's a fact.
I don't think it should. That's my
should.
thing. If we're making, okay, so for instance, the CEO of BET, he's calling for like 14 trillion dollars or something worth of payments. That's where this money can come from. Like U.S. Cotton has had a free ride for so long. Just that one company, $120 billion a year. That money can come from right there, from that one company alone. That wouldn't have to come from the feds. It wouldn't have to come from my taxpayer dollars. It wouldn't have to come from yours or anyone else taxpayer dollars. But this company has had a hell of a run from from everything they have came from U.S. slavery. From slavery. So that's just my take on it. Anybody else?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna jump on that real quick, and then I'll let
Please.
you guys. I hijacked the conversation, Miss Shelley. I'm so sorry. I did hijack the conversation, and I just want to give a shout out to Miss Shelley. We're plug. Okay. I'm not gonna use the word plug. We're giving a shout out to Shelley, your beautiful wife. I was listening to you. I think Andre had put a link out before, so I was listening to it on a ride, man, and I was very impressed with just the subject matter and the research. So keep that up.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's very few things I can enjoy listening to nowadays because commercialized, blah blah blah, nonsense, etc. You were dropping bombs, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so back to the funding and whatnot. Yeah, something can be said about U.S. Cotton and a number of other companies who have experienced the free ride. These companies, they get huge corporate tax breaks, and they're not really justified. Meanwhile, people like me and you with small businesses, we get jacked up. Like, we get hit so hard that it affects our day-to-day life. Some of these super companies are global, and their company couldn't be global without the sweat and blood of the people that they built the companies on the backs of. So I'm kind of at a middle ground there. Like, I'm not against that at all if it comes off from the right people. That is justice, and it should all be lined up. It should all be verifiable proof, because you're going to end up with 100,000 people claiming something that is not theirs. And likewise, you're going to end up with 100,000 people claiming no responsibility where there could be some. Thoughts?
I mean, how do you?
Man, this topic is always this is a heavy topic for me because I believe that I am a descendant of American slavery. Andre does not think that I am. I don't know for sure, but
it can definitely be verified. You may not have access to your lineage, but believe me, the U.S. government does.
Yeah, Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's a very strong possibility that I am. As far back as I can remember, I do firmly believe that I am. And just to piggyback off of what Andre was saying, I do feel like a lot of corporations, especially the ones that are still in existence, we're talking about banks, all types of institutions, alcohol companies, they're still profiting to this day, and they all got their start from American slavery. So my thing is, how is it fair in any way for the businesses to still be profiting and the descendants of the people that, you know, contributed to those companies even being possible, they get nothing in return? If that's the case, they need to shut those businesses down because they shouldn't be in existence.
See, can I go? Can I
Yeah,
real quick?
absolutely.
See,
Your wife.
the problem, the thing that the one of the biggest, you know what I mean? Like you own a piece, I own a piece, everybody owns a piece. Like how am I gonna tell John that the stock that he bought last year is not gonna work? Is, you know, it has basically we're taking money out of his account because, you know, it's a publicly traded company now. That
Well, I'm
Well,
not
you
a
that huh?
listen, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
can't can't they split the stock, issue stock to descendants of slavery within those companies? I mean, the demand's always going to be there.
That's
And once
true.
they split the stock and issue it now, instead of a monthly check or a one-time check or anything, their income will grow with the further growth of a company.
That is
Ah,
true.
I like that.
That's a great idea, actually.
Which
See,
also, in
this is
turns,
racism because Chinese people are smarter than everyone. No, I'm just kidding.
not Chinese,
It's not even
not
Chinese.
Chinese. No, but I think it's
Oriental, fine.
might be I think that might be a good way for companies to apologize in one retrospect, as well as uh, boost their worth by giving back to descendants of slavery, and because more on the local level, people are going to support it a little bit more. And when, like I said, when it grows, they grow as well.
Absolutely.
That's my take on it. I don't know if it's right. I'm a stock guy, but I would think that's a win-win situation.
You know, it could be, and then there's the other part of it, because I do feel like there's either one or two reasons why is so much of a pushback behind the reparations. And the first reason I stated, which is obvious, is that we don't feel like the money should come from, you know, my pocket or your pocket. Um, but the second part about it is because, like you said, we just figured out where we can get the money from. And you know, if the four of us here could figure that out, you know, the upper heads, they could damn sure figure that out.
We did not commit suicide. We love our life.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
on top of that, now, this is something that I'm fully aware that I do myself.
Hmm.
I don't, if I haven't done anything wrong, you cannot get me to apologize, because for me to apologize is an admission of guilt.
So, and
Some of these people might have that stance because if they didn't take part in it,
that's what I was gonna get at. That's what I was gonna get at. Like, because you did mention, you know, the apology, and honestly, I don't think black people looking for an apology. But I don't think descendants of slaves looking for an apology. I don't think they really care about an apology. I think descendants of slaves want something that they can call their own, something that they can build on, and something that they can be left alone with. Which brings me to my next point, is because, like I said, we just figured out where the money can come from, right? And I'm sure the upper heads could figure it out if we could figure it out. So the second part about it is it that America really needs that bottom class? So I mean, you know, is it really that? Because it's either one of the two things. It's either the money's not there, or America needs the bottom class. You know what I mean?
Elaborate.
Hmm?
Elaborate, because I want to understand deeper.
yeah.
So when I say like bottom class, you need people to do certain work. You need people to fill certain jail cells. You need people to um. There's a lot of you need people for bottom class, bottom class citizens. Which is why there's such a big push on the democratic part of things to have illegals be legal here, pretty much. To have illegals have driver's license and voting rights and things like that, because America is set up to have a bottom class. You know, regardless of what you have, the way the system is set up, you have a top class, you have a middle class, and you have your bottom class. Without the bottom class, you're not
You have
gonna.
no top class.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, but
So
that's just business.
that's right, and America's a corporation. So that makes me feel like, is it more about keeping descendants of slaves at the bottom by not giving them, by, because okay, really and truly, if you look at it, 200 years, right? 200 years of people working for free and not getting paid is transfer of wealth. It's transfer of wealth
Yeah,
from one people to another people, because these people actually worked and didn't actually receive that wealth. That wealth that they were supposed to receive for their labor went to went to a whole another set of people.
It was exploited because slaves didn't have a say so in the matter. It's not like me going to work at Target for minimum wage bagging. I chose to go there, and I'm in a period of freedom, and pretty much everybody right now is in a period of freedom.
Hmm.
So it was a different scenario. These people did not have a choice. Um, the Irish and black were probably the biggest discriminated people early on, and they weren't even counted as human. You go
Right.
back and you read history and whatnot. So those people didn't have a choice. There is something to be said about that. Now everybody's going to have a different view of that, but it is something to behold if you look into it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely I when people say, because it's a hard conversation, I think mostly to have is because a lot of people, the majority of people, don't know anybody that owned a slave. You know what I mean? And the majority of people, because I always, my thing is people are good. People are more good than bad. Like, I don't believe that. Yeah, more good than bad, I should say. More good than bad. You know what I mean? Um, just naturally. You know what I mean? So saying that to say, it's not like people, when they are against reparations, I don't think it's that they're are really against black people coming, descendants of slaves getting a better place in this society. I don't really think it's about that. I think it's more about, hey, look, you want to transfer wealth from me to you. I worked hard for everything I have. Nobody gave me nothing. So I don't feel like I should have to give you anything, which is completely understandable to me, because I feel like you need to work for what you get. You know what I mean? I do feel like that.
yeah.
Like, I don't feel like handouts is just not me. You know what I mean? But I don't believe that's a handout. Go ahead.
You're playing into Jamaican stereotypes, man. Where Ben got a 7 jobs. He's a doctor. He's a lawyer. He's a. It's true though, right?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
Yeah, I was just like when I used to tell people, I'm like, man, I work 3 jobs at any given time. I do. It's just my nature. They're like, what are you, Jamaican? I'm like,
Yeah.
probably.
Well,
Go ahead, John.
let me chime in real quick. I don't think it's a hard conversation or even a hard topic. I think it's more or less just an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
Because really, when you talk about this kind of stuff, man, it's really skating on thin ice. There's a lot of emotions behind it, and rightfully so. Um,
We have.
going back, what's that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I don't want to cut you. Go ahead. But we have.
Oh, no, no. Going back to it, like I wouldn't want an admission of guilt if I know that I don't feel that I'm guilty of anything. Now, the past is the past, and you do have to look where it comes from. But the people within the power now, I don't feel that they feel connected from what took place in the past, and that's why they don't want that admission of guilt. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Would have to project here
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead. Go ahead.
with them not feeling a connection. I don't agree with that because pride themselves on the founding fathers who were slaveholders.
Am I the only
So
one that's hearing her breaking up, or is she breaking up?
Yeah, she's got
No,
an echo.
she's breaking up a little bit, but I'm getting the gist.
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah.
now.
No, I was saying that as far as what you were saying with the leaders of the country now, if I'm saying this right, they don't feel a connection to
No,
happened back then or the people that instituted slavery. Am I correct
no,
in saying
no,
that?
no, not the leaders of the country. I'm more or less talking about leaders of corporations and whatnot that have built their
Oh, leaders
businesses
of
off.
corporations. Are you referring to corporations that have some type of tie to slavery, or just corporations in general?
I'm talking about corporations in general because not every corporation has a tie to it.
Right, right.
So that's what I'm saying. I think it's hard. You know, like I said, it's hard for someone to step forward and to acknowledge it, because if you acknowledge it, which I think slavery is bad. It was a horrible freaking thing to happen. It's a horrible part of history. It needs to be acknowledged. But I'm saying sometimes the train of thought is, if you acknowledge it and you even put in your 2 cents, that it's an admission of guilt. And I think people are just trying not to be seen in a negative light. I think there's a lot of things that can be done and should be done for the the reparations and fixing relations like that. But I think people are a little too uncomfortable still to really put aside those emotions to come up with the best solution. And I think that's what's holding it back.
And on
Well, if
gotta
people would stop looking at it as guilt and looking at it as reconciliation and atoning for how this country got its start, then they'll be able to have a different perspective. Because because you're atoning for something and reconciling doesn't mean that you should feel guilty about it. It's a repair. It's trying to undo a wrong that was done. Obviously, the people that did the wrong, they can't fix it because they're no longer here.
Yeah.
So as a
But that
nation,
doesn't.
I think that I don't think anybody should feel guilty, but I do think that to a certain level, people should want to reconcile that so that we can begin to put it behind us.
Very
As
true.
long as there's no reconciliation, it will never be behind us. Not in my opinion, it won't. It'll always be a problem.
Yeah, it's the acknowledgement and the reconciliation that's definitely got to take part.
And the other part about it is, American pays Jewish reparations, and the Holocaust didn't even happen on this soil. You know,
and not only
Well,
Jewish.
we pay them $3 billion a year, don't we?
something I don't know the number, but what were you gonna say, Vince?
I was gonna say, if you guys remember Vietnam, we're also paying Vietnam because of Agent Orange, which Monsanto, who is highly profitable. I am not suicidal, by the way. If I killed myself, I did not. People tend to disappear when they speak against big corporations. They were responsible for Agent Orange, and our tax dollars still go to pay reparations for the poisoned water tables of Vietnam. And by the way, our 7th Ave guest is in the house.
Yes,
Yo, what up, y'all?
Introducing 7th Ave, guys. 7th Ave. He's with us every week. 7th Ave, what's up, bro?
Evening.
Man, not much, bro. You know, I'm just sitting out here chilling, sliding away from the police and the daggone security guards.
What you got for us tonight, homie?
Man, first off, let me just tell you why they call me 7th Ave. Because at any time, any given place, I'm always parked off on 7th Ave. No matter the city, state, neck of the woods, yo hood, I'll tell you what's good on 7th Ave, bro, because that's where I be at.
On 7th Ave.
On 7th Ave, bro.
He'll even spray paint the sign if it says 8th. He'll change it to a 7th. Am I lying?
No, it's always 7th Ave.
Always
No
7th
matter
Ave.
where I'm at, always 7th Ave.
That's what's good. That's what's good.
All right, well, I appreciate you guys allowing me to step forth on your forum and everything, allowing me to speak. So we got the presidential elections coming up. We got a lot of candidates out there, and unfortunately, my pick dropped out. But I'm gonna tell you why I endorse this pick. And in 2024, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with, Mr. Kanye West. Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's my pick.
That's your pick. And why did you pick? Why would Kanye be your pick, bro?
Okay, first off, let me go with the easiest thing. A lot of people say, well, Kanye never been in office. He don't know what it's like to be a politician. Obviously, neither does Trump, and he's doing kind of okay with it. I'm not a full supporter of him, but I'm not a full hater of him. He out there doing this thing. Things are passing. Things are being done. I mean, and for all intents and purposes, Kanye's a black Trump. Think about it.
So
Both
wait, wait,
savvy
wait.
businessmen.
Wait,
They
wait.
both savvy businessmen. They both got a plastic ass wife.
Oh
They
wow.
both got some weird ass hair. I'm
Wow,
saying
bro. Wow. Plastic wife, bro.
Kanye is the black Trump. Dead ass.
Oh
But at
wow.
And
least
both of them speak without even thinking. And that is something I gotta applaud. Because I do that shit constantly and I always get yelled at for it.
I can't deal with this guy. Seventh
nah,
Ave, where did
our
y'all
thoughts
pick
are
him up
free
from?
here. Our thoughts are free.
Yeah, at least the thoughts are free.
Most
I
Talking
think
cheap.
definitely.
you're right.
And then
Talking
think
cheap.
about this too.
hmm
Other reasons why Kanye would be a great president. 2 words. Presidential Yeezys. Imagine how fire them shoes is finna be.
John, you would probably get with those.
You know what? You need to be a
Just think
campaign
about that.
No,
manager.
no, no. But my son is a huge sneakerhead, and I know he would be in line for hours for them.
I know John
Most
because
definitely.
John was just saying earlier before you came on that he would have bought the bumper sticker.
Yeah, you the
Yeah.
people, man. Come on, you the
Oh,
people.
most definitely.
Not
I
just
mean,
just
like,
to have it.
man, Yeezus is for the people. I'm saying that right now. Imagine, just imagine, like, think about this. Can Donald Trump or Joe Biden mix down a beat? Hell no. Kanye West is a musical genius. Just imagine what he'll come up with if he has a new platform to fucking shine.
Wow. So let me ask you this: Do you really think that? Do you think that this was a publicity stunt? Like, did he have an album coming out or something like that? Like, what was that
I
all
don't know
about,
about
bro?
an album coming out, but I know he announced it on July 4th and recanted about 2 days ago. But what I really think he was doing is pulling out to see what kind of response he would get if he actually did do a full, real presidential run. Like, granted, like he was trying to get on the ticket in Florida and like North Carolina and some of the other smaller states where like there's still time to get on the ballot as a third party. And
So,
he seen what kind of response he has. So he got the time to like, you know what? Bam, I got the next 4 years. I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna get my campaign up and I'm gonna crush 2024.
so you're not even playing. Like, if if he puts his hat in a ring for 2024, you're in all the way.
I'm in all the way. I campaign for him. I'll even volunteer to be on the squad. Like I get
Yo,
my
Seventh
security
Ave,
folk to do security for him.
Seventh Ave, do you even have a vote, Seventh Ave?
I mean, since Florida allowed me to get my vote back, no matter because of my multiple felonies, alleged felonies, shall we say, I am now a legal voter once again.
Oh, now you can vote again. All right, cool,
Congratulations.
Now I
cool,
can
cool,
vote
cool.
again.
There you are.
I
Out for the
didn't even
cookout. You
realize I
feel
was
me?
out of the camera. I got too comfortable. My bad. My bad. My
I
bad.
mean, you see me, I'm in the spaceship, bro.
You in the spaceship? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go, bro.
Yo, man, I
You know,
really
they say
appreciate you.
Jesus walks.
Jesus walk. That's what somebody said, yo. Somebody was like, yo, look, I'm gonna ride for Kanye because at least he made the song say Jesus walks. At least he asked Jesus to walk with him, so I'm gonna ride with him.
I mean, that's always the way to go,
Bold.
bro. Like, if you don't ride with God, who you finna ride with?
Yeah, hey,
That
hey.
is bold because you get shamed in Hollywood for mentioning Jesus in a positive light. If you
Yeah.
mention him in a
Most
negative light,
definitely.
you get the next 5 roles.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely.
They sold
So,
their soul for real.
what you
I
had
got
anything
one
else?
thing I want to comment on.
Please.
I was watching earlier and I seen what you guys were talking about, and You were saying something about how people don't want to give up the money for reparations. Like, yo, I don't want to give you my wealth because I had to fight for it. I had to earn it myself.
Yeah.
You're forgetting that a lot of this wealth that people have is all generational wealth. It came down from families above him. Like Trump had money given to him. Biden had money given to him. All the rich powers, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds and all them boys, fucking, they all had money passed down from generation to generation to generation. And
You might be
true.
suicidal. You're mentioning all the key names.
oh yeah, like my man said, I'm really happy in life. I'm living my best life. I will not commit suicide, never,
Ever.
ever.
Nobody on this
Like,
panel. Right.
nobody,
Nobody on this panel. We
nobody.
love life. You see how much
Matter
fun
of
we
fact,
having
we
talking
love
about
you
doggone
guys.
politics? Huh?
As a matter of fact, we love all of you out there listening. That's why we do this.
That's
You're
why we
not
do.
alone.
Absolutely, man. We love life and we love people. That's really what this is all about. Um, where else are we going? Actually, you know what? Seventh Ave. Are you
Yo,
sticking around with us a little bit, or you taking off? What are you doing?
I mean, I can stick around for a few minutes, man. The security guard up the street, so I'm good.
All right, cool. Any gunshots or anything? I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to see it. We're not gonna be no witnesses
Oh
tonight.
man, oh no, man. You hear the gunshots, but you won't hear this. You won't hear this Lex fire off and gone. Well, I ain't sticking around on the crime scene. That ain't me.
Vincent,
Two-time felon, never be a third.
Talk to me.
we were speaking about we were talking about reparations,
Yes.
and I think
So
we
the,
left off on you.
yes, sir. So the article, if people see the headlines, and this is something that's very clever on media. Media, they've got it down to a science. They appeal to people's emotions. They use key phrases to draw people in, and then people automatically sign on and log in. But they don't do any depth reading. If you read the article, no money will be going to individuals. Shelly, you mentioned that, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not cash payouts.
Yes, ma'am. There will be no money going to people as individuals. The way that they're doing their reparation is they're going to invest into the Black community. They're going to, but we don't know what that means. They say housing. Well, by housing, and this is coming from me, do they mean housing projects? And that's their justification for investing into the Black community? Is that what that means? Because they're not being specific. Do they mean programs, YMCA? They're going to build another YMCA? Well, that's already been done before. So without details, key details, it almost comes across, and you guys have to read the articles for yourselves out there. It comes across as pandering.
That's exactly what it is.
Pandering is, you got to look that word up.
That's exactly what it is. It's nothing more than pandering, and it's funny to me that because when that was gonna be that was my topic tonight that I was gonna talk about regardless of what, right? And it was funny to me that the other topic that you just brought in that that the viewer shared with you is from out of North Carolina too. And when I saw that thing, I don't know anything about North Carolina, but as soon as I saw that headline, I said, wait, this must be a democratically controlled state. And then I before I even looked at the article to see to see what was really going on, and then I read the article, and then my thing about it is they're building what they're gonna what it looks like to me from what the article says is they're gonna push money into this community. All I see that
But
means
like,
the community is gonna get gentrified. That's what
I,
that's what I see. Just like what was the place, Shelly, down in Miami where they just like it is Wynwood now? What was it used to be? Overtown before?
Wynwood,
Yeah,
It was
Overtown,
Overtown.
Wynwood.
It was Overtown before.
right.
Now it's Inwood.
And now it's Wynwood, art district of freaking American art district. Like what?
Oh, they're trying to push everything out of Wynwood right now.
What do you
It's
mean?
expensive
All
there.
the entertainment there. I post up down in Wynwood often, so you'll see me out there. And they trying to
Seventh
push the
Ave, right?
bars out, trying to say that they can't have the bars, the music up until like 11 and whatnot. It's like they trying to push like the younger crowd out and
Yeah.
do what they did to South Beach. Because South Beach is dead now. South Beach ain't what it was.
No. Go ahead, John.
Do any of you watch South Park? Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you remember the Soto Sopa where they gentrified
Yeah.
the neighborhood. They
Yeah.
brought it in. It lasted for like a good 6 months, and then the next thing you know, it turned into like an even crappier slum.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if there's any truth to that, because as he was just saying, they're pushing the people out that paid to get in there. And now what are they going to do? What are they going to do with the real estate that's there? What's going to happen to it? What's going
If
to
it's
become?
on South Park, it's true.
Facts.
Oh, I'm not even kidding, man. They stick their finger in the sensitive spots, and they're
Oh
like,
yeah, they don't even
"Show
play
the
with it,
board."
huh?
They're evil.
They don't even play with it.
Oh, bro, they hit people right in the eye.
Bro,
You know who I
they
just thought
savage
about?
with it.
My bad. You know what I just wanted to thought about? Our boy Rob. Send a shout out to Rob, man. I'm kind of missing Rob.
Yeah, wow.
You know what I
He's
mean?
actually the host.
Yeah, he's it's funny because Rob is the star of the show. He's the big guy. You know what I mean? We love you, Rob. We love you. Miss you. Taking
What's
care
that
of
other
your
thing
family,
pop
bro.
on?
You know. But it just for some reason he just popped in my mind. I'm just like, yo, let me shout Rob out. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Rob will
triple
be
C.
with us next week, and miss him right now. But sorry to cut you.
And we hope your
Indeed.
family feels better, buddy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely hope she feels better soon. Um, we don't know, what's the situation. What else we got on the chopping block?
Hey,
Anybody?
let me run into that whole North Carolina investing into the community type thing.
Yeah.
What if it actually spins positive? What if they're actually trying to rebuild Black Wall Street, but in North Carolina?
In order for that to be true,
Everything
you
would have to be Black owned.
exactly. It's not happening.
But
You know what I mean? Because
I
it's
mean,
not like you can't do business or move into this community unless you're black. You can't do that.
facts. They tried that in the Seattle war zone.
So that's not going to work. You know what I mean? That's just not going to work. Now,
No, but they
it,
could offer more incentives like tax breaks and whatnot for Black owned businesses, Black owned banks, Black owned hospitals and whatnot. It
that's
doesn't have to be just solely for Black people, but it, you see what I'm saying? It got to be like unified, but at the same time, more so like, how like when people pull into the, little gated communities, like, oh, I live here, this is my shit, blah, 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 blah. Same thing, but on a larger scale.
yeah. So I get that. I get that, and I have that type of feeling along the line. Like for me personally, I feel like descendants of slaves, black people in America, deserve to have a nation in America. Inside of America, like just like how you have South America. You know what
Or
I
how
mean?
it's broken up into like Bolivia and all that shit.
Regardless, I feel like black people deserve a nation to call their own. Some a force of protection, because really and truly, a people without a nation have no protection. Have any nation can do anything against these people. There is no nation to go back home to and say, "Hey, look, this to call up and say, yo, look, these people over here are messing with me. So you feel me? I need some protection. I need to be able to come home to be in a safe zone."
I
It,
mean, that's why street gangs were originally invented.
I mean, hey,
That is how they
I
have.
mean, that's what the Bloods and Crips originally came out to do. That's
Yep.
what the Black Panthers came out to do, was protect their communities,
no,
protect the
no,
citizens, protect the people that lived within them.
wait, don't put the Black Panthers in that. Black Panthers was actually a political party. They weren't a violent party. They,
No, no, no. I'm not saying violence, bro. I'm saying they were there to help their community. The same thing with the
yeah,
Bloods and Crips. The Panthers, you know what I mean? They went off and did their political thing. The Bloods and Crips, they went from being community based to being monetarily based.
got you. Any thoughts, Shelly?
That's what I'm saying.
Shelly, any thoughts?
Oh no, I'm just listening to everybody, but what he said is absolutely right. It's crazy to see what the Bloods and the Crips are today, because they actually were a community protection mechanism. That's what their origins was. They didn't really set out to be a gang.
I didn't
And
know that.
yeah, it's very sad to see what they have become. Even though, I mean, even within gangs, when you think about gangs, there is a certain level of unity, even if they're using it for the wrong reasons. It would be really interesting to see them return to their origins and build up their communities.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true. Very true. Anybody got anything?
Yeah. I definitely. So, as somebody who did run the streets for my own reasons, I definitely have
You
a different
hooligan,
take.
you.
What's that?
You hooligan.
Yeah, I was hooligan. But you gotta understand something. I grew up in the gangster rap era,
Uh-huh.
and so everybody's influenced by music. So, I'm not gonna get too much into the details of back then and whatnot, but
Statute
communities,
of limitations. That's correct.
yes, statute of limitations. Um, I like that. I like that stuff. All right. So anyway, people at the end of the day, what needs to happen in America, and this is one of the beauties of this show, this is why we do this, is where people start to identify, and this is going back to what you said, Andre. There's no nation to run to. We're here. We got to learn how to protect each other, strengthen each other, and actually build up one another. We're here. There is no option. The only other option is to destroy America and set ourselves back another 120 years, and that's not a solution. That's
So
a new problem.
my only problem with that, the only problem with that though, John, I mean, Vince, is that we're controlled. The 90% of the population is controlled by 10% of the population, and the 10% of the population that does the controlling ain't doing that.
But there's power in numbers, and our original Let's Talk Freedom show
Yeah.
with Rob. Rob, you guys will meet him eventually in the future, hopefully next week. Was just about that. It was about unified mentality, not groupthink. Groupthink is how people are seduced and misled. It's about what we're doing here. Look across the spectrum here. All of us are in agreement about 99% of everything that we believe. We just want a better world. We want peace. We want our children to be safe. I guarantee not one person we can invite on this show will raise their hand to the idea of let's make the world less safe for children.
No.
But then we live in a very clever nation where people know how to exploit that idea, and they use it for their financial gain, or they use it for an agenda. How can I make sure that Andre never owns a gun for the sake of children? How can I make sure that John, you see where I'm going with this? And they try to start pushing socialism and communism. And you don't even have to explain to me what becomes of that. I don't want it.
I honestly,
I don't want it at all.
Somebody else take that. Somebody else take that. Go ahead, John.
Hey, look. I have no solutions when it comes to that. I don't think violence is any kind of answer. I don't think being suppressed. I think the majority, when they speak, should be heard. I don't know why. When the majority speaks out, it's always silenced for some reason. I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. I do agree. I'm with the sentiment that I want a better future and a better place for not just myself, but for my neighbor. Because if my neighbor prospers, in a way I win too. I'm all about the community. If I can help, I'm doing it not because I want something. It's to show my character. And if I ever am in a position, hopefully other people will show that exact same character. It's okay to be generous and be helpful without having a hidden agenda. And we talked about it briefly before that I believe most people are inherently selfish. I know you said you believe most people are inherently good, but I think it's a taught thing. I mean,
So wait. I mean, on that point though, I don't think being I think being selfish has gotten a bad rep, right? Because here's the thing. In order for me to take care of you, I have to take care of me first. Like even when you get on an airplane, right? One of the things that they tell you, if God forbid you have to wear the oxygen mask
mhm.
and you're sitting with another person that can't get theirs on, You need to put on yours first before you take care of that other person. And it
Yeah.
really strikes me. I travel 4 times a year. No, 8 times a year I have to get on a plane to go pick up my son. Right? So 4 times out of that 8 times I have my son with me. 4 times I'm
Yeah.
by myself. 4 times he's coming back with me. Every single time that I hear this thing, I look over here at him, and I'm wondering if that really was to ever happen, if I really would be able to grab mine and put mine on before I put his on. I,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what?
Um,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
but a lot of that stuff that's taught. You're taught that throughout life by caring parents, by friends, by who you surround yourself with, man. At the end of the day, I got two twins. If you guys wanna do an experiment, I'll go throw one fucking cracker in between the both of them, and we can see what they do to each other. They have not been taught to share yet. They will snatch things from each other, regardless that two crackers come in one pack. They
It
don't
doesn't
know.
matter. No, they don't care
I
about that.
show
You have
both of
that one. Yeah.
I show both of them. I hand one, I hand the other. And for some reason, the one in this one's hand is more flavorful than the one in this hand. They want it for themselves. And I think selfishness has gotten a bad rap because it's become more perverse, it's more extreme. But at the end of the day, I think human nature is selfish. And
I mean,
once you're taught these other things, I think you begin them steps of enlightenment. You know, you're free to experiment with how generous you can be and whatnot.
I think
What's up,
Lucci
Vince?
wants to pop in. I think Lucci wants to pop in. Give him a minute.
What's up, Seth?
all right, yo, check me out. The best way that they describe being selfish people is a shopping cart test. Are you guys familiar with the shopping cart test?
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
All right. What the shopping cart test is you take the shopping cart out of the store. You go to your car, you unload all your stuff. Now you have the decision. Do you put the shopping cart back or you just leave it where it's at? There's no consequences for either action. You're not gonna get in trouble. There's no laws that say you gotta do this shit. Nobody's gonna say like, "Oh, you're a fucking asshole for leaving this shit here." Ain't gonna happen. Or, but in the same respect, nobody's gonna give you a cookie or give you a high five for returning the shopping cart.
Unless you go to
That's
Aldi.
how people. Unless you go to Aldi's, but yeah, you got to get. But they did it so you got to get your money back.
Right.
You had to put that money in to use that shit.
They went mafia on
But
you.
going to Walmart and any of the other spots, it's on you to return that shopping cart. And that says if you could really be self-governed, or like it really just shows what kind of character you have. If you take the 2 seconds out of your time to push that shit up to the store, or put it in the little corral where they got them, or just leave it there on
Or
the
kick
side,
it down to a ditch.
See, like
or
me
just push it,
personally.
or push it into the Kia down the block. Fuck it, you know what I mean?
All right, me personally, like with that, right? Just comment on that. I'm the kind of guy like I'm not gonna walk that thing back. I'm not even gonna. No, seriously, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I might sound crazy now, but somebody has a job putting that back, right? I'm not gonna leave it in somebody's way. I'm not gonna leave it in the middle of a parking lot to where the next person that comes to park can't park there. I'm gonna put it. I'm not gonna leave it to where it's just gonna roll and accidentally go roll into something. But I'm definitely not gonna bring it back because if everybody does that, that takes away from somebody. I'm that
No,
guy.
no,
No,
man.
that
You're
dude
supposed
still
to
has a
fetch the
job, bro.
parts from the corral, man. The corral is where you're supposed to put the shopping cart so they can properly do their job, get it from the corral, put it back in the store. You're just making the job harder, bro.
I mean, like, check me out. I worked in the grocery store.
Y'all
I
getting
worked in the
on
grocery
Andre.
store,
I'm
and
done. I'm gonna get on
and
Andre's back. I got his back. I push. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all a
yo,
story because I worked in grocery.
tell him,
These,
man.
these kids that are in the grocery store are begging to get outside and go grab shopping carts. They're like, "Hey, can I go get shopping carts, Mr. Manager?" And the manager's like, I don't think there's too many out there. They're like, "All right, you let me know when there is. I'll go get them. Please let me go get them." I'm not kidding. I'm not
Get out of the
patronizing.
store. You get to breathe.
Thank you. So it is a job, and everybody, this is the cool thing about this show. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got the whole Brady Bunch thing happen with 5 people, and we're all in the same house, but we all have this slightly different view. So I'm just sharing what happens in the grocery level. These kids, they do want to get out there. They want to get away from the manager's site. They want to have a breather. They want to go out there and smoke a cigarette, whatever it is. And the way that I'm viewing Andre right now is Andre's the one showing mercy. You've got,
No.
I mean,
wait. I'm not done.
Y'all are just mean,
Let
bro.
me finish. Street rules. I'm louder. So you've got the one guy who's like, yeah, man, you're lazy if you don't push it back, and his heart is entirely in the right place. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And you got the next person. We didn't ask Shelly what she thinks, but I'm gonna make up a scenario for Shelly. Shelly doesn't care. But that doesn't make that person, because the same thing is going to happen whether she cares or not. The manager is still going to send that kid out there, and depending on who the manager is, he may be like, hey, do you want to go get the shopping carts now? And the kid's going to be like, yeah, man, I'm out. Or he's going to be like, go get those shopping carts now. And the kid's going to be like, okay, fine. And, it doesn't matter. The same thing's going to happen whether she cares about it or not. And then you've got the corral. John makes a valid point. At least try to help out, and his heart's in the right place too. And it makes people's job easier when they don't have to go extend it. And then you got Andre and the kid that goes out there, not all of them, but a lot of them, because I worked in grocery for many, many years. I was a manager. He's begging. He prays while he's in the bathroom. Heavenly Father, let the shopping carts be scattered so that I get 45 minutes out there. Let them be scattered far and wide. Let them take it down to the next shopping plaza. Amen.
I mean, damn, when I worked in the grocery store, I was given 10 minutes no matter where the damn shopping carts was. If I had to go 3 blocks down to Euclid Ave to get a damn shopping cart, they didn't care. I had 10 minutes in and out like a robbery. I better go get them things, get back in the store, because the carts, that wasn't my responsibility. That was just a job I had to do. I had shit inside that I had to take care of.
Your manager was that guy. He had a little teeny mustache, right?
Now, are we also taking
Yeah.
Are we taking into account for weather conditions?
Do it.
Nope.
Do it. Preach.
Yeah, like, I mean, because if you just roll your shopping cart or wherever and you just park it out wherever, and it's fucking raining, I understand you want to get dry in your car, but that kid's got to go back into that cold ass AC for the rest of his shift. He's going back and forth getting soaked up. So I think just
But that kid's getting paid. Ain't nobody
$7
paying
an hour.
I don't care. Ain't nobody paying me to go bring the shopping cart back.
we're talking about someone's health.
All right, no, listen. All right, so no. You're walking through another scenario. You're walking through Walmart, right? And you bump over the display. You gonna stop and go pick it up?
I do.
No, I'm running, brother, because every time I knock over the display, man, cops get called. I'm gone. I'm hitting it.
Your name is 7th Ave. You better hit it. Like, you better get out of there quick.
The
Man,
beauty
it's
of
on my
it
birth
is
certificate.
none of you guys are wrong. And Miss Shelley, the made up scenario, because I took her mind and what she thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to not be taking my wife's mind, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna get hate mail for that. Are you trying to suppress women? No. I was just trying to keep the show moving along. Shelley, what do you really think? Tell us.
No, honestly, yeah. Go ahead, Shelley.
I'm the other guy. I'm so sorry. I push it back where it belongs. That's what I do.
She's always sending the kids. Like, the kids have a bad habit. They'll go to print it. I'd be like, yo, where you going with that shopping cart? Put it up on this curb right here.
But that's just, listen, I don't know. That's just me. I'm kind of, it's weird. I'm a little bit systematic. Like, it's courtesy. I follow the process. I'll put it back where it belongs and kind of try to consider the person that has to come out and pick them up.
Yeah. Real
Shelley
quick,
should run for mayor. I'm just throwing that out there.
She has a political soul.
Yeah.
But don't even let me get there with her.
No, we're not gonna go there.
Local politics, man.
Go ahead, John.
No, okay. So another reason why I do it is because I guess as a parent, I guess I've I disciplined myself because being so long with the kid by my side. Now, granted, I've had children since I was 18. So having a kid by my side, I have to be the best example for them. That means stopping at crosswalks, not walking through them. And because I don't want them to do it, even when my kid's not by my side, I find myself stopping at a crosswalk, going to a crosswalk, because I can't be a proper example for my children if I'm a hypocrite behind their back. So that's my own truth. I want to be truthful the whole way. If I'm gonna teach them, I need to practice. So that's why mainly I got into doing it, because when I was younger, I was just like throwing shit, whatever, didn't care where anything goes. Now I'm the guy that goes into Publix and I notice there's tainted meat and I'm looking for a manager just to make sure that they don't sell it.
You're just anal.
No, it's not being
No,
anal.
no, he's not. He's not anal. He's not anal. He's not anal. And honestly,
Just messing with.
honestly,
All right, folks.
I like that.
I hate to cut
really
you
like
off.
that.
The security coming. I got a dip. I love you guys. I'll see you next
Peace.
week.
I'll see you
Holla
next
at
week.
you.
All right, Seventh Ave. Thanks for coming.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us, Seventh.
For sure.
Later.
As you were saying, Shelly?
No, I said I really like that. I don't think it's anal. I think that, I can't tell anyone what to do or how to be, but I think that if we all just sometimes stick out that moment to think about what we're doing and how it affects the next person or who's watching us or trying to be that example, I think that is a step in the right direction for. So I really agree with that.
Yeah, your phone broke up really bad towards the end of what you said, but I think we got the pretty much got what we
Yeah, I got
you
the
know
gist of it.
yeah, got the gist of what you were saying. And I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you're right about that. Here's I got a little bit of a different take on it.
Tell me,
I grew up to
break it
where
down.
no, real quick. I grew up to kind of where like life ain't fair, life ain't easy. Like you don't get a trophy just for participating in the doggone game. Like I grew up kind of different. So with my approach on my kids is this is the way. Like we would love life to be like this, but this is the way it really is. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit around here and like tell you that you know you have to live things a certain way because your dad ain't doing that. Your dad is the type of guy that goes against the grain type of guy. Like when everybody's going down one way, I'm like, where the hell they going, bro? I mean, go this way,
Yep.
you know. And that's not what you're doing. Is not you're not, you're probably more going against the grain, in the way you're thinking, John. Um, but
Yeah,
this,
kind of. I mean, because the majority of people don't return those cards and they don't stop for anything. I don't know, man. Like I guess I'm doing it old school with my kids, and that is they should think for themselves. They should question everything.
hmm
Um, but if me as a person, as I am as an adult, I have enough confidence that I'm doing the right thing, that I feel that I'm doing the right thing.
hmm
Now, other people don't have to think I'm doing the right thing, but I believe I'm doing the right thing. I'm not hurting anybody by doing my thing. So I'm going to teach my kids. And look, they have to learn that ain't nobody have to like them. There's, as you said, the participation trophy, ribbon, whatever. They're gonna have to work hard and they're gonna have to stand on their own 2 feet. But I'm just trying to give them an example. And yeah, if it's not right, it's not right. But in my eyes, it is. I'm just trying to do the best I can. There's no parenting handbook, so as long as they're getting their meals and they're being tucked into bed and they're bathed and yeah, I'm just trying. I'm just
Yeah.
trying. I'm a student in life, just like everybody else.
At the end of the day, you brought up a great point. There is no parenting handbook, and who are you to say? Who am I to say the way you're doing, the way you're raising your family is not correct? You know what I mean? And who is anybody else to come into anyone the way anyone is raising their family and saying it's not correct? Because one beautiful thing about it is we're all different. You're not gonna find two snowflakes that are the same. You're not gonna find two leaves that are the same. Not even two blades of grass, that are the same. So that's a beautiful thing. But that at the end of the day, when you look at it, let's count Seventh Avenue because he was just here with us. We had five people that think completely differently, but not completely differently, slightly differently, but all in the same context to where what we're not doing what we're doing out of trying to harm anyone or trying to put, you know what I mean? Everything that we're doing out of the goodness. And that kind of brings me with what's kind of going on in the world right now where, there's a lot of division going on and there's a lot of craziness and everybody kind of always feels like what they're doing is the right way to do. Um I sit back and I look at the Trump supporters, I look at the never Trumpers, I look at the Biden supporters, I look at the never Biden people, and it's all the same thing, just like you were saying earlier, Vince. Everybody feels like they're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? There are people right now, like, okay, for me once, right now, personally, if the election was held today, I would go in that booth and I would vote for Donald Trump. If it was held today. And the reason why I would do that is because I think that he's doing the right thing, trying to drain the swamp. He's trying to bring the awareness to the sex trafficking, 300 arrests or something like that since he's been in office.
It's
On
over.
you know what I mean? Like a lot, right? So for those reasons right there, if elections was held today, I think the job is not done yet. So because the job is not done, I would put that vote, right? If I don't know what's going to happen from here to November, between now and November, if the swamp is drained and it looks like the job that I think that he's doing right now is done, my vote is going to Joe Jorgen or Joe Jorgensen, simply because that job is done now. That part of the swamp is drained, but there's still a whole another part of the swamp that still needs to be drained because just because Donald Trump is going after the sex traffickers and doing all of this doesn't mean there's not a bunch of sex trafficking going on in the Republican Party as well.
But
Because power is
okay,
power. Go
so
ahead.
real quick,
Yeah.
you brought up the sex trafficking and stuff. I'd
Hmm.
like to see who has a bigger list of being attributed to bringing these hideous people in. You know, Ashton Kutcher is all up in this whole fucking task force to where they track down these people.
Yeah, I saw him on Congress. Actually, he's one. He started one of the major task force. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. He's all in. I watched one of his whole interview I mean, not when he had to sit up in front of Congress and I forgot, I don't know what they call it. When you give me the word, bro. When you all know what I'm talking about. When you have to speak in front of Congress,
A
I think
testimony?
testimony or whatever. I guess he was trying to get money for the foundation that he was doing or whatever the situation was. But
Yeah. Hey, sorry, real quick, but big ups to that guy for
for
not
standing up,
being. Yeah, yeah. The dude's a fucking actor, and he went up and just did what's right
right,
and
right,
used
right.
his power and influence to help propel that, and
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, 100 to him because, you know, and like I said, with Trump right now, that's what I feel, and I just feel like that he is moving in the right direction. And the people that, saying that to say the people that are never Trumpers, they have their own reasons to feel like he'll never, you know what I mean? They'll never ride for Trump, and they'll never get behind him. I don't
Now,
quite understand it. Go ahead.
no, I don't. Before this spirals out of control,
Hmm.
I just want to gain some kind of insight. Are we about to have a debate on whether Trump is good or bad? Okay, okay,
I'm not
because
into that. I'm not into that because I
okay,
can't tell you.
yeah, no, no,
Can't tell you.
It's the
maybe
shopping
behind,
cart situation.
It's
yeah,
a
maybe
what
behind closed
situation?
doors, he's awesome. I don't know, but I don't. Me personally, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm not all for it. Um, yeah, I'm just not. I don't like the way he handled the corona response, but that wasn't what you were going for.
No, I mean, honestly, people are listen. My thing is think for yourself.
Yeah,
That's my, you know what I mean? Just like think. It doesn't matter which way you think. Just actually think. You know what I mean? Just actually do the work and think. Go
And be
ahead.
able to back up what you think and why you think it without referring to that guy who left his wife for the stripper that he was paying to have sex with him, the ex stripper porn star, while he was receiving funding. You guys can see what I'm doing there, right?
yeah,
A little
Because
bit.
people like to refer to that guy as the absolute end of truth. And that's not how this
That's
works.
not how this
yeah.
works, really.
Critical thinking, people. That's why we're doing this. We're not against you. We're not necessarily for you, but we're not against you.
Yeah, just think.
Think, man. We want
Like
our
just
kids to be safe too.
exactly because honestly, that's what when people put thought into things, man. When you sit there and think, and you just strip away the lid. I like to say, peel back the onion, peel back the layers of the onion. You know what I mean? Just like just peel it all back. Like just take away all the fluff and take away your feelings and just actually just think
Thank
about the real situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look at it. Don't just look at it from this side of things. Because like what is that? What do you know in life that has one side?
nothing.
The only
Nothing.
thing I know that is a two-dimensional drawing or a two-dimensional, like if you just write on a paper, and even that has another side, even though you flip it over.
I was
So,
gonna say
Brand new.
even that's another side. So
yeah.
as we're wrapping up,
Hmm.
what are our closing thoughts? Should we let ladies go first?
Yes, please.
Oh man. Well, first of all, I think this was some very, very good dialogue. My closing thoughts are pretty simple. Like I said when I started off, I think with this whole situation and a lot of what we're seeing unfold just in society, we do need to take some time to think for ourselves. And I honestly feel like we need to choose our battles wisely because, like I said before, there's so much more to come. I think that we need to try to find some common ground. Everybody is not going to think the same. Everybody has their own opinions and their perspectives about everything that is going on. But I think that we need to be solution based and we need to try to find middle ground because that's the only way we're going to solve our problems. If everybody is divided, if no one wants to try to come to that common ground, I think that we're basically wasting our time. And that's my final thoughts.
Anyone got a microphone I can drop?
Boom.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, good luck following that up.
Who? Anybody else wants to go next?
John?
Children are great. I hear my wife trying to scold my kids on the outside of the door. Ah,
I
man,
love
just try to be a better person, man. Take 2 extra seconds. Hear somebody else out. Just try to relate. Just try to relate before you go react.
Good advice. Good advice. You want to go, Vince, or you want me to go?
I don't care.
All right. So you're last.
That was your closing remark, because you don't care.
No, he was passing the torch. Come on. I love this. I love this. I need to be hated. That means I got fans.
my thing
Yeah.
is, my thing is, I'm gonna wrap up on what the subject that I brought to hand was the reparations, and what I want to say on that is take yourself out of your shoes when you're thinking about this conversation, because it is a conversation that needs to be had, and it's a conversation that I'm here to tell you that descendants of slaves, American descendants of slaves, they're not holding back on this conversation no longer. You know what I mean? So this is a conversation that is gonna be had, and a lot of what you see in the streets right now has a part of that tied into it, right? So it's not going anywhere. It's a conversation that America really needs to face, and just like how we were all saying, take your take your feet out of your shoes and put it in the other person's shoes for a second and try to understand. Actually listen, because you can't understand without first actually listening. You know what I mean? Like, you will never figure out what the person is actually trying to tell you if you come in with your preconceived notion and you stick with that, and your whole goal is to keep your preconceived notion. And I see that a lot with conversations. People will come into a conversation and are like, this is my point on this is where I stand on this conversation, and there's nothing you're going to say to change the way I stand on this conversation. I My thing is, cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah.
Cut that out. You have two ears and one mouth. It's for a reason. You need to listen twice as much as you talk. So when you're dealing with other people, if you're dealing with yourself, fine. You don't have to listen. Run your damn mouth all you want. But when you're dealing with somebody else, take the time to listen and try to spend twice as much time listening as you're speaking, because you do have two ears for a reason and one mouth. That's where I want to leave it.
Stuff. Yeah, I will leave you, ladies and gentlemen, with this. Um, we hope to be a blessing to your ears. We hope that you learn something, consider something new. Our goal is to present truth, but as you can see, 5 different people have 5 different angles, and let that be the lesson. That people see things differently doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. We're just coming from different places. And as Miss Shelley said, we'll find a middle ground, and blessed are the peacemakers. Have a good night.
Amen to that. Amen to that, y'all. Amen to that. Everybody out, over and out.
Peace.